Hello, it is A.M. Snyder from SnyderSunshineArtStudio.com, here to bring to you another how to draw something, a thing. I have decided that I'm going to show you how to draw a series of bows that you can pop on to any drawings that you produce on packages, on animals, on holiday wreaths, and so on. So let's start off with the knot of the bow. So the most simplest way to draw a bow is to start with the circle or oval. Yes, the circle or oval. And then you add in curves on the side, like letter C, and then a backwards letter C. And if you want to add the ribbon that hangs down the ends of the bow, you add those down here with some straight lines. Okay, and then you can also add a curve in here and a curve in here, and eventually you get what looks like a bow. Now I know that's drawn with pencil and it's very difficult to see, so I'm going to choose a colored pencil here and I'm going to outline it for you. So again, we started with the oval or circle. We have the letter C, and then we have the letter C backwards. Some straight lines for the ribbon at the end, and we can add like the inside or the curve here. Alright, and I added these little lines. So there's a simple bow. Now I would go ahead and shade this in, so I would start off with a dark value, and as I go across, because this is going to be a shadow, I'm going to use less pressure. Value is the lightness and darkness of a color. We're using red, and we're going to get dark to light. And then we have where the knot is, so it's going to be darker closer to the knot because the ribbon is supposed to puff in here, so this is going to be the highlight, and we're trying to make this flat shape look three-dimensional. And the three-dimensional quality makes it look more realistic, like it's popping off the page, and it's not flat. And now I'm going to get lighter and lighter, which means less pressure, darker pressure, or heavier pressure to make it darker. And as I go out, it's going to get lighter and lighter. A little darker on the edges here. Now I used a regular gray pencil to outline this, so I'm going to have that ingrained in the paper. It's going to come through, so beware of that. It's going to be darker here. I'm trying to leave a little bit of a white edge so you can see how the ribbon is separate there as it curves. It's going to be lighter on this side, less pressure, and it's going to be light right in the puffy part. It's going to be darker along the knot. And dark along the edges of the knot, and highlighted in the center, which would be puffed up, and the light's going to hit it or land on it. Okay, I'm going to turn the paper slightly to help me out. Gray pencil in the way. Because of how my hand's going to be moving here, I turn the paper. I press really hard to make this super dark here. And it's going to get lighter as I go out. Super dark. And lighter as I go out. Alright, so very basic bow, right? Okay, and we can zoom in just so you can see it. Ooh, pretty bow, pretty bow. Alright, I'm going to zoom out. And I'll get a different color for this next one. So again, we can take and draw down here the circle or oval, but this time I'm going to make it more of a rectangle or a square. I don't know what kind of shape you want to call that. And then instead of rounding it this time, I'm going to make it more of a triangle or candy corn shape. I like to say candy corn shape. Maybe it's trapezoid shape. Yeah, and we're starting with a shape. And then out from here, we can make it a little wavier instead of just so straight out. We can add little cuts in here. And the same thing happens. We make it darker in here. Oh, we can add the centers here as well. So make it somewhat light. I guess it's a medium. Make it a medium value. And it's going to be darker right underneath the edge there. And we come over. And it's going to be lighter as we go out. Okay, and then it's going to be lighter in the center of this poofy part of the ribbon. And darker on the edge. Basic bow. Now, of course, you could use just your gray pencil. I'm just using a color pencil because I started over here with a color pencil and I just carried it through. Color pencils are fun to some extent if you get the right quality. I personally, A.M. Snyder here, do not enjoy the cheaper brand of color pencils because they have a harder filament in there and therefore they break easily. So when you go to sharpen them, they always break. If you get a higher quality colored pencil, Prismacolor is usually the ones I go with. They're softer, they're not as hard, and they don't break as easily. Now you have to sharpen them right too, because if you just put them into an electric pencil sharpener, because they're soft, the electric pencil sharpener just eat them away. So you have to be careful with that. A handheld pencil sharpener of good quality is usually the best for Prismacolor or higher quality colored pencils. Because this is now arched up with a wave, it's going to be lighter here where the light's going to hit it. So if I drew like a light bulb here or a sun or something, the rays are going to hit right there and light it up. And then over here. And because this is overlapping on the ribbon, the bow part is overlapping on the end of the ribbon here, it's going to cast a shadow, so it's going to be darker. And we're going to make it somewhat medium dark here and leave a little bit of white around it. And as it goes up, it's going to get lighter. And then a little darker on the top, just because I'm seeing the light is hitting it more direct than right down. And I'm going to clean up the edges here. Make this is a little darker. Make that very clear that that's folded in there. It's always better to start off in a medium value, and then you can always make it darker as needed. The one thing I do notice with my students when I'm working with them in person, I always have to clarify with them that they need to make things darker. They seem to be very hesitant to make it super dark, but that dark really does help things to look like they're coming forward and going back to create that round depth or form, three-dimensional quality of the shape being transformed into that realistic three-dimensional form. All right, so now we've seen how to make two different bows. I hope that this exercise has been helpful to you and that you'll be able to add little tiny bows to your works of art. So if I take my gray pencil here and I simply draw around, and then I can take the side of my pencil and make it dark right here. And as I go out, it's just going to get lighter And I do the same on this side. So all about starting with that knot and the size you want for whatever object you are accessorizing with your bow. Alrighty, A.M. Snyder here from SnyderSunshineArtStudio.com. Always enjoying drawing and drawing with you and sharing my ideas, talents, abilities, skills, and however way I may teach you those same fascinating, creative drawing skills. Until next time, please visit me at SnyderSunshineArtStudio.com and check out what else I have for you. See you in the next video. Bye-bye.